live.
Good evening. Must be Monday because here I am again to do a storybook reading. And today this one's not live because I'm very fortunate we have Stephanie Greaves going to be performing tonight doing one of her lawn concerts. So I won't be able to read at 8 o'clock, so we're going to pre-record this. Once again, we're going to continue with the readings for the week. I want to thank last week's readers, which include Sarah Duncan, who was a Sydney councillor. We had Jeremy Baker from Fox Radio. We had Julie Skinner, who is a curler who has won many medals for her curling, and Ebony Loggins, which was a soup councillor. And I'll tell you a little bit about this week's readers after I finish reading this week's book. So I tried to think of what book to read this week, and I stumbled across this one sitting at our council table with other books that were nominated for the Butler Book Prize. And this one was a Bullen Books Children's Book Prize winner, and it is called Stepping Stones, a Refugee's Family Journey. And it's written by Margriet Ruurs and artwork by Nizar Badr. And I don't know if I pronounced that right. I apologize if I did, if I pronounced it wrong. And this book is in Arabic and English. And what I found from the book when I first read it was the artist glues stones together to make pictures and then takes a picture of the stones. And the writer saw one of these pictures and fell in love with the work that this man did and reached out to him and wanted him to do the stone pictures for her story. So this is the story, and let's get started. Stepping Stones, a Refugee's Family Journey. And please be sure to admire the beautiful stones in the picture. Rama, wake up, the rooster crowed every morning when we lived at home. From my warm bed, I listened as Mama prepared breakfast, bread, yogurt, juicy red tomatoes from our garden. So there's the rooster, all made out of stone. When I was little, not so long ago, my brother Sammy, our friends, and I played on sun-baked soil. We laughed, ran across rocks and sand, free as birds. When Papa came in from the fields, he would sit for a time under the orange tree and tell stories of our ancestors. In that not-so-distant memory, we were free. Free to play, free to go to school, free to buy fruit and vegetables at the market, free to laugh and chat, drink tea with neighbors, always 3 cups. But that was then, and this is now. Back then, Cheeto, my grandfather, fished. Papa worked in the fields. Mama sewed silk scarves for me and my dolls, wrapped in silk and hugs. I didn't know our lives would soon change forever. But Cheeto said we weren't really free. If we're not allowed to sing our songs, if we weren't allowed to dance our dances, to pray the prayers of our choice, are we truly free? Then war came to our country. Life in our village changed. Nothing was as it had been. Soon there was not enough food. Rama, share this bowl of soup with Sammy. I didn't know then that Mama would go hungry, but we still had Mama's hugs and Cheeto's arms to hold us. Then the birds stopped singing. People began to leave our village, first a trickle, then a stream, across dusty fields under a burning sun, a stream driven by hope, mothers, fathers, children, seeking a better place, a better life. A river of strangers in search of a place to be free, to live and laugh, to love again, in search of a place where bombs did not fall, where people did not die on their way to market, a river of people in search of peace. At first, when our neighbors left, I didn't mind. I had Papa, Mama, and Gito and Sammy. I still had friends. We waved goodbye, not knowing they wouldn't come back. But when bombs fell too close to our home, Mama and Papa became frightened for us all. I hid my face in Mama's lap and cried, even though I am a big girl. One day, Gito told Sammy and me that it was time. Time to join the river of people. Time to leave all that we knew. That night, I lay in bed and cried because I knew I would never again hear the crow of the rooster, the creak of the gate, the bleat of our goat. I lay awake and listened to the wind, wondering if the moon rises the same way in other places. Sammy and I said goodbye to the flowers in our yard, to our goat, to the soil we called home. Then we walked. We walked and walked and walked. I tried to match my steps to Gito's long strides. I tried to hold Mama's hand, but she carried blankets, a bundle of clothes. I carried only memories in my heart. We walked, sometimes alone, but mostly with many others, everyone fleeing the war, running away from the bombs. Papa carried little Sammy and more on his back. When I grew so tired and cried, Papa told me we were walking toward a bright new future. We walked to the end of the earth, and when we reached it, there was the sea. We set sail on waves of hope and prayer. I was frightened as the waves battered our little boat, and not everyone made it safely across. We said prayers for those whose journey ended at sea. When we arrived on land once again, Mama and Papa planted seeds to grow flowers, to remember those who did not reach freedom. And on we walked, tired. I was so tired. My feet felt like the rocks on which we walked. My legs were trees rooted to the soil. On we walked, but now we walked across lands free from war, free from guns and bombs, free from fear. Now we walked in hope. At last we came to our future. New neighbors welcomed us with open arms. I heard their voices, but didn't understand their words. But when I saw their smiles, I knew what the words meant. Stay, they said. Stay here with us. You will be safe now. No more war. They shared what they had, clothes, food, even a new doll. We have a new home now, a home with new sounds and smells, with smiles and people who help. Will this always be home, or will we go back one day? The lucky ones, they call us. New memories, new hopes, new dreams, not of war, but of peace. And that's the end. So once again, this beautiful family was a Bullen Books Children's Book Prize winner, and it is called Stepping Stone, Refugee's Family Journey, and the illustrations and pictures are just beautiful. So I hope you'll get a chance to get this book, and I want to thank you for joining me with tonight's reading. And tomorrow we have what I've asked is a few elected officials that have now retired to come and join and do a reading. So tomorrow we have Maureen Karagianis, who was an MLA and has since retired and is a good friend of mine, and she will be reading for tomorrow night. And I'll tell you about other readers as we go through the week. Take care now and have a lovely evening.